رمضان.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is EP4.2 Ramadan Kareem. We would like to discuss Islamophobia and what's happening around the world, and in particularly in the UK after the recent attacks in Manchester and London. We've seen a lot of officers patrolling all the mosques, synagogues, churches, just to protect people really. And it comes under we have a lot of hate crime recently, which has arisen due to the recent attacks, and we've seen that. And I would like to urge everyone, whether you're a man or a woman, you should not stand for hate. Please report it to your nearest police station or confide in somebody you trust. Hate has no face, terrorism has no religion, and we should all stand together and report it, because we need to do that as soon as possible. The police have been so kind and so generous with their time, and I would like to discuss on another note the positivities of what's happening. So I would like to come over to Janara. Hello Janara, what's happening in the Islamic world?
Okay, unfortunately, due to the recent attacks in Manchester and recently in London, it's not something like it's nice to talk about, but we have to, just so that we can make people aware of what is going on, so they have awareness. Obviously, the hate crime has increased increasingly. There's been a lot of incidents that have taken place, and that's been reported in social media. It's also been reported in the news. However, be mindful, there are some hearsay, there are some certain incidents which people are just going and making up just to kind of cause more hate towards each other. So do try and get your information from a reliable source, like for example, get it from the news or the police. Don't just go by with anything that people are just tagging and just kind of sharing, because a lot of the feeds I've noticed myself that they're sharing, which is 3-4 years old, which is kind of really building up a lot of hate.
Yes.
And we've got so much hate happening, so always go with a reliable source. Obviously, there's been incidents, reports from the police, like Muslim leaders pleaded to root out the menace of extremism as they gathered on London Bridge to pay tribute to those who lost their lives in Saturday's night terror attack. I think one of the things, alhamdulillah, which it really kind of brought the unity within our community is when all the imams, they actually got together and they launched an action plan to tackle radicalization within the communities that they labeled terrorists, criminals and not martyrs. And I think it's nice to see that the mosques are kind of getting together and working together and kind of coming together. I think a lot of the times before, previously, when these incidents used to take place, the mosque kind of stepped back a little bit. However, now they are coming together, which kind of gives a positive like role to the community about what's going on, and whatever is going on, it's wrong. On a positive note, I know sometimes talking about this, it does kind of make you negative,
Brings you down.
and it does bring you down, because as well as there's good and bad in every community, like I've said before previously in on Ramadan.TV, is you can't judge one person's wrongdoing as a whole. You find bad and good in every community, in every religion, and religion is not to blame. Like I said once again, that every religion teaches peace. But however, sister, let's get into some of the positive things that we recently saw on the media.
One of the positive things that I've noticed is there's a lot of vigils happening in every city in the UK. A lot of vigils where leaders, like faith leaders from around every faith coming together and saying, "Not in my name," protesting, praying for the victims, which was really nice to see. I've been part of quite a few vigils. And
Oh, mashallah.
There's one coming up, and hopefully like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, mashallah, that's really
I'll
good.
let you know. and everybody was carrying around saying like posters and saying we are with London, we love Manchester, and you know, just
I think
the
let's
gesture.
let's look at the positive message, like the community, the photos. I don't know if you've seen it, sister, and it was a group of, I think, all different scholars,
Faith
and
leaders,
faith
yes.
leaders, and they got together, and the word said, "London loves you," and is written below a heart which reads Ramadan Mubarak. And
Mashallah.
subhanallah, yet again,
Yeah.
it's such a positive message to say that. And they've got a heart, it's got a heart, and then it says Ramadan Mubarak and London loves you. A message of love has been discovered outside a mosque in London in the morning after the London Bridge attack, and the message was written on the pavement outside the Baitul Aziz Islamic Culture Centre, which is located just a mile away from the London Bridge. And you know, yet again,
That's different, isn't it?
it is. It's very different, considering it's so close to home when it happened, and the next day, you know, people did come out, and you know, it's so easy to fuel up hate amongst each other.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, there are good in every community.
Show solidarity.
Yeah.
Show that we are all standing together. Show unity. Show community spirit. Show love. Show acceptance. And just forget about all the negativity that we've been seeing. Subhanallah. And the police and the, you know, the councils have been so good
Subhanallah,
on
they have.
increasing, you know, the police presence in most of the important areas in the UK.
One of the things that I always say to you, and say to the viewers and yourselves and myself, and I remind myself, is be around positive people, because
Yes.
positivity is like electricity. When you're around positive people, you kind of bounce off. When you're around negative people, you kind of become negative.
Yeah.
So especially in situations like this, where there are a lot of negatives that you are going to hear, and when you do hear it, speak to the individuals in such a manner that you turn the negative into positive, and it's the way we speak and the way we explain things and the way we educate them. And I think this is something that I would like to please suggest to the viewers, that do that you are going to find arrogance. We find arrogance in every culture, and when you do come across these individual arrogance, please do educate them, but educate them in such a way that you kind of change their way of thinking. Once again, terrorism has no religion.
One of the pictures says
and look
that.
at the photo, it has no religion, and the example is on the picture and the way it's laid out. And please, viewers, once again, let us all, as mankind, all come together, stick together, and remain positive.
Yes.
And inshallah, whatever hate or negativity that goes on in this world, in this dunya that we live in, each one of us can make a difference.
Positivity is amazing.
Subhanallah.
One of the things that we were discussing earlier is actually a very, very, you know, touching subject. It's another flip side of love. It is hate and intolerance and ignorance, and just there was a mosque targeted by hate crime that was holding an open day. After he was targeted, he asked everybody to come down. He did signs to say we are holding an open day, because sometimes fear breeds hate. And if you're fearful to approach a Muslim person or just go and say hello, there are so many open days in the mosques that's happening around the UK or around the world, perhaps. So just walk into a mosque if you want to know what happens in there. And just don't there was vandalism. Have you seen the picture?
Yes, the picture, it wasn't very nice, and it did say, it said something like Muslim cowards.
Yeah.
And it was scrolled down on the mosque by an unknown vandalizer. However, on a positive note, Zahir Iqbal, a member of the Muslim community, posted the following invitation on his Facebook page after the graffiti was discovered, and it basically invited people to come and visit the Muslim community, come and learn about Islam, not from the media. And that itself is an example. Like, don't listen to what hearsay, don't listen to what the media portrays, but come for yourself. And it's about education. And do you know what, if anything, I really feel sorry for the people who don't have awareness about all religion, not only about Islam, about every single religion, because I just feel as if that they've lived such a sheltered life. And if anything by them going into places of worship, not only just mosques, but every single places of worship,
church,
and educating themselves about, you know, different kind of religion, I think if anything it's gonna make their views and way of thinking
Educate
a lot
yourself.
better.
Yes. Educate yourself.
Don't live a
because-
sheltered life. There's no need. You live in a multicultural society. You know,
Absolutely.
alhamdulillah, on a positive note, we live in the UK, and to be practicing Islam in the UK, that itself is a blessing. I come from a Muslim country, and I don't think when I revisited the country that I came from, I felt I was more closer to my deen in the UK rather than my own country.
Yeah.
So let's appreciate it, and if anything, let's educate ourselves about every religion, culture, tradition, so just so that we're more open-minded.
And not only that, I think we are more alike than different.
Definitely.
You know, we are all human. We are all, you know, we hate and love the same things sometimes. And this is just a perfect example of when you see something hateful, the backlash you will see on both communities, but don't just...
But look at the response in regards to the open date that they had. And I'm looking at the photos, subhanAllah, you see so many different people from all different kind of ethnicity, and everyone's there sitting together, taking pictures, smiling.
really nice.
And then they had like a message of love to the Muslim community. And it said in this, I think individuals wrote quite a few stuff. I want to take the opportunity to find out a little bit more about the Muslim faith. And then somebody else said, I thought it was really important to show solidarity because of the way that they're being demonished in the press. And it goes on, there's more. It says, what was written on the mosque was washed away 1,000 times by the love and understanding shown by the public today. And it's an example.
It was just like a chance to come and learn more about who you're living next to, who your neighbors are. Because I have Christian neighbors, I have Jewish neighbors, I go and check out their church. It's just, you know, just to educate your mind and just open up your heart, and you'll see more acceptance and tolerance, and we are more similar than different.
And I'm going to, on this note, brothers and sisters and viewers, you know, alhamdulillah, we're halfway through Ramadan, and one of the things that I urge everybody is, a humble request to everybody is, please remain positive, remain safe, remain positive is the key message.
Absolutely.
Whatever goes on in this world, and whatever we see and however this dunya is, just remain positive and just set an example, not just for yourself but for the ummah as well. Assalamu alaikum, and inshallah we'll take another few minutes break and we'll speak to you soon, inshallah.
Okay.